All right, ladies and gentlemen, happy Father's Day. My dad and my stepdad, both in the Air Force, taught me how to be cool, smart, strong, and fiercely independent if need be. So I was raised that if I had to tell Democrats, hey, it's not a good time to protest during a plague, or Republicans, hey, this shit is real and will kill you and your family, possibly, then that's what I gotta do. Even if nobody wants to hear it, I am your planetary defense commander. And so I got to give you the tough news. Saturn's about to retrograde back into Capricorn. What does that mean? That means around July 1st, you will probably see lockdowns coming back. Now, I predicted lockdowns in mid-March, as early as the very start of February. And so I knew lockdowns were coming back. It could have been anywhere between July and September. But we're looking at some pretty scary numbers, and people are sick and tired of lockdown and the virus. Hey, I get it. But like here, we're looking at Texas specifically, the number of ICU beds used for COVID in Texas. This is in general. This is ICU, intensive care unit. May 17th, we had 222 in use, and this is just for COVID. And now they have 445. So that has doubled. The number of general beds used for COVID has gone from 297 on May 17th to 920 for confirmed COVID cases that are in general. And even the suspected have gone from 153 to, it was 374, but I think they got transferred over, 271, which is still almost a doubling. And so we are watching, the cases, the numbers mount up as the lockdowns have pretty much ended and people have had no guidance from the president, from the Democrats, from the Republicans. Wall Street is just doing everything they can to put a smiley face on everything. And so I fear we've got about 1 week left where Wall Street is going to pump up the stock markets and do everything they can to obfuscate the data. And then the scary numbers are coming in. And then to add on top of all that, Aries will have Mars enter it for 6 months, which is super highly anomalous, which means we'll be dealing with war on every level, whether it be India versus China, Egypt versus Syria, Democrats versus Republicans. So get ready, man. Are we going into 1988, which would be good, or are we going into 1941, which would be bad? Stay tuned. Today, California reported 4,515 new coronavirus cases on Sunday, the highest one-day increase since the very start of the pandemic. And this is not just an American issue. The world is bigger than just America. And the Americas are bigger than the United States of America. Mexico is getting hit hard. We didn't believe coronavirus was a threat. But when people began to die and die and die, we lost our incredulity. Officials report 20,000 plus coronavirus deaths in Mexico, undoubtedly an undercount. The hardest places getting hit right now are Brazil, Mexico, and India. And so, for people to believe this was a hoax, it's happening all over the world. And if this were just to affect the election, you've still got 4 months left. So they would have to, quote unquote, keep up this farce for that long. It's not a farce, dude. It is real. And even if the fatality rate is only 0.5%, if everybody got it, that would still be 1.75 million United States of American deaths. And as Planetary Defense Commander, that number is extremely way, way, way too high. And so countries are not working together. Instead, we've seen China and India go at it, and now Egypt and Turkey are going on war footing over Libya, which complicates all the problems. This is Mexico's mortality rate, and as you can see, the deaths have just started to skyrocket since the end of April. So yeah, California, Florida, Texas, all up over 4,000 new cases just yesterday in a single day. So we are breaking new records as everyone lets their guard down. Texas and Greater Houston are seeing a spike in cases and a 22% increase in overall hospitalization. COVID patients are dying. That means 1 out of every 5 patients that comes in with COVID dies over the last 2 weeks. We had the single largest day increase in virus infections, and more than 183,000 in 24 hours, with Brazil being the worst and the United States coming in second with 36,000 cases. And so, like the beds occupied were at like 70% of general beds, ICU beds 73%, and ventilators are 35%. And so if it continues to spike up as it has, we could definitely see some type of a clinical medical emergency with beds and staff workers. Over 50% of the people tested in Mexico are coming back positive, which is unprecedented and beats like every country out there in OMG WTF. And I'm doing this so you could be mentally, spiritually, physically, and emotionally prepared for us to go back into lockdown. And I don't care what politicians say or said, man. They routinely flip-flop. And so, like I said, Wall Street drives everything. And so we've been living in some fantasy land, acting like we're going to get sports back sometime soon, which we are not. We're probably not getting pro team sports or giant concerts back until the end of 2022 or 2023. Florida, 4,671 cases. And it's not just the cases, because cases don't paint a picture. The amount of people positive is going up. Wow, Florida officials reported a 12% increase in positivity rate among new COVID tests Sunday, and just 12%. Thus, the record new corona cases are not due to increased testing, but due to more cases. If the cases were constant, more testing would have decreased the positive number. An indoor rally is more dangerous than an outdoor protest, but I'm not comfortable with either level of risk. Neither am I, and I have been the whole time. And so I've been in a difficult position to pretty much tell 90% of the people they're doing wrong. These are Oklahoma numbers, and they're clearly not doing good. The good news is that the rally was a bit of a dud, so we won't see as big of a spike as I was worried about. Who holds a rally in the middle of a pandemic anyway? See, 12 states hit daily records, and the White House says it's preparing for a possible fall wave. And so whatever numbers we're seeing now, the sun is helping. But when summer ends, it's going to re-explode. And I think it's going to be a big problem over the summer. Florida's positive rate more than tripled over 2 weeks. Deaths are always low and unreliable for the weekend, but that more than doubled. I've been cautious about overstating Florida, but it is a disaster in the making. For the first time, the COVID new case rate in red counties is as high as it has been in blue counties. And so this is not a political issue, dude. And one of the big problems is that Wall Street turned it into a political issue, and it turned red versus blue and blue versus red. The Arizona sheriff, who refused to enforce the governor's stay-at-home order because he believed it was unconstitutional, says he has tested positive for COVID. And then there's the case of the hospital bill. The man beat COVID, and then he got his $1.1 million bill. As we know, the medical industry is like our prisons for profit system, where it is broken and needs to be totally adjusted. And so, a lot of times when I do these videos, people accuse me of being a fearmonger or me being scared, and I'm not scared, dude. It's like, if I see the fire, I'm not scared of fire. I just avoid fire. I don't be like, hey man, I'm not scared. I'm going to walk into the middle of a campfire. Like, I just try to avoid it. So we are going to have to deal with this for probably 2 more years. And so, yeah, I would definitely, the markets are eventually going to catch up to it because all the economic data is bad. And so I'll be in another form of, I've basically been in lockdown all year and for 2 years because it's the best way to bring you planetary defense. Commander information. because I don't put myself in danger, and I've been able to be one of the best people on the planet to bring you the most honest, informative information, the truth that nobody wants to hear. All right. Well, I love you guys. This is your update. It is no fun for me to do. This is one of my least favorite subjects to cover. But if I can save one life or more, then I will have made my dad and my stepdad proud. And you guys, I think more and more people will get it. You know, this is not a hoax. Even the president keeps calling it really horrible, a plague, a pandemic. Somehow, his followers don't even listen to what he says on this subject. They're too busy listening to yahoos on the YouTube, who are also at the same time trying to sell you a mini ice age when heat records are shattering across the globe. All right, stay cool. God bless everyone.